Okay, part two of this part of the episode. I guess this is already something like at least three. Right, because I was reading about, the pivotal monk Thomas of Aquinas. For much of my interest had been focused on the relationship to science, but it all resolves back into this is my dog coughing. Oh, kitty, oh, Dachi. Okay, that's my dog coughing. So the Thomas of Aquinas, then, as a pivotal monk, the pivotal monk figure in this process, is someone who I've been identifying in terms of, well, I guess it's multiple, it's these various threads, but certainly beginning with science, with a lot of thanks to James Hannam, his work as a historian, the fact that Thomas of Aquinas, is not usually thought of as important for the history of science, and many new atheist types, scientific materialists, will simply deny that. But just as they can't deny Newton's Christianity, Galileo's Christianity, and so on, Christian Huygens, well, here we get at the levels of explanation in which we need to be aware that even if someone like Christian Huygens didn't assert his Christian identity, although he did assert a theist, kind of deist-theist viewpoint in one of his kind of science fiction type books, I seem to recall. We have the difference between the academic scholarly evaluation and self-identity, self-identification. Even, Hobbes, right? If it's Hobbes who was accused of being an atheist, and even anyone who actively identified as an atheist in Christian culture, the issue isn't as simple as their not being Christian. It is they're taking a position to deny their belief in the existence of God, while they have cultivated or been cultivated in that the system itself that did not kill them, for example, right? It did not kill, in which they were not. Hobbes was not executed, and people who were executed, get into the problem of execution, and the problem of the evaluating the difference between the original and baseline integrity of Jesus' teachings of love and the combination of issues of sociological, psychosocial, and cultural issues, biological even, levels of evaluating behaviors. Because at root we have to be alert to the conflict or the dynamic tensions and the various the counterdependent tensions. I guess there are the four kinds of tensions that might be pointed out. This is an interesting scheme. I'm drawing this now from John Bradshaw's psychology, and I think it might be based on Erik Erikson's, and it's developmental type psychology related to Piaget's legacy. So we've got the baby as a codependent, independent, I got that? Codependent, counterdependent, right? And then independent, and then interdependent. So we've got 4 kinds of basic relational, psychological relational levels to consider, besides the biological that goes back to evaluating the levels of violence in chimpanzees and hunter-gatherers that I was just reading about in Richard Wrangham. This is information that I guess has been at some level, has been available at some level for a while, and certainly in more or less recently by Richard Wrangham and associates and colleagues. So, so then that is Hedges' response. This then enriches Hedges' response. It indicates how it's the points of individualism and human rights is primarily a Christian accomplishment, we can identify. We need the levels of explanation represented by multidisciplinary philosophy, what is in fact and what I'm advocating as the terminology of multidisciplinary philosophy, representing the levels of explanation to clarify then this point that seems to be persisting in being disputed by the new atheist types, refusing to admit the value of Christianity. And so, whereas they do give sort of pay lip service to the points of view like psychology and sociology, they simply are functionally illiterate. They're not literate in these areas, and those areas adequately literate. They're not adequately literate to and show by making their simplistic kind of stereotyped statements and classifications. So Sam Harris then. So that gets us to a more complete and a more accurate interpretation of Chris Hedges' response around monotheism. The value of theism, the value of monotheism, he goes for. I mean, I would go, I guess, to shamanism. And I'm not going to impugn necessarily. I guess that's where I would take issue. Even in polytheism, we see that that's how Socrates was generated. Right? Okay, and right, I guess I need to explain that. So let me see if I need to make a new episode here. Excuse me. 7, 8. Okay, yeah, I'm going to make a new episode.